Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Men, sorry. Happy New Year. Happy freaking New Year, and welcome to the first stream on my channel of 2021. I almost said 2020. Um, Anybody else have problems with that? When you first, you know, fill out any form that has the date on it, you need to remember what year. I was like, oh yeah, it's 2021 now. Used to suck when I was in school. Remembering that I was back from the break, and then, oh, we're not in that year anymore. On the other hand, how many of you feel that there's not much of a difference? Same day, different shit. Well, actually, same shit, different day. Um, so how are y'all doing? Let me know in the comments. I see Gentle Inflatables was here. I don't know if she still is here. She left a comment at 8:02 p.m. And 8:03 p.m. I wonder if she's still with us at the moment. I got some more exciting things to share with you today. For those of you who don't know yet, I will be mentioning that in just a moment. And I thought Yanni was going to join me tonight, but doesn't look like it. I'll see if he pops in the chats or not. So yeah, let's see. Other than that, I thought I'd catch up with you guys. Yesterday I did not stream. I was at a braai, and I could see fireworks from my place across Cape Town, which I thought was beautiful and a nice little thank you to the government. Now I understand that some people don't like the fireworks because of their animals, and my heart does go out to those with the animals. I understand that. I really do. I have cats of my own. They also don't like the fireworks. I get it. Having said that, it was still pretty cool to see, people giving the ANC the big FU, which was great. The Pet Zoo Film Crew is here with me. I like Chinese New Year. It's a whole week. Okay, I didn't know that. Sorry. Yeah, I'm a little bit tired. Not that I've done much today, if I'm honest, but yeah. Who knows? Maybe this won't be too long of a stream. It seems like a lot of people are busy. Yeah, people doing their stuff. I don't know. What do you do now? It's Friday, lockdown level 3. What do you do now? Anybody listening? I guess people still with family or whatever. But anyway, let's, for those of you who don't know, may have missed it yesterday, I have started a clothing line, which I think is, gonna push some boundaries a bit, push the envelope. Please go check it out. There is a link in the description below, and there's a 10% off promotion happening right now. Because it officially launches on the 11th of January, but we're taking pre-orders in now. So you can use a promo code and get 10% off your order if you order now. And I'm going to give you a reason to order now. You're going to ask, well, what's so special about this clothing? Like, you're probably like, Ronaldo or something, like, what's so special? I'll show you. I will show you right now. Okay. But this is going to be a brand with a difference. All right. Boom. Look at that. Wow. Your eyes do not deceive you, my friends. It is a Footsec ANC shirt. And what better day to launch this shirt but today? Not only is it the first Friday of 2021, and not only is it the first day of 2021, but it's also, like I just said, a Friday. And what is Friday? Hashtag D. So now you can take that to a new level, and you can order one of these shirts off this website. They come in a black, a bit of a gray, and obviously green, black and green. My favorite. This one's my favorite, if I am honest. Like I said, you get 10% off site wide. There's other shirts here, ladies and gentlemen, that I hope to impress you. You know, like we got some interesting sayings on these shirts, and like this is one of my, we got the straight out of Brackenfell, for the tough guys out there, but we also have the straight out of Wuhan. If you maybe you're a survivor, I don't know. But there's a whole range of different shirts, ladies and gentlemen, that you are obviously welcome to browse. There's more coming. There is a lot more designs coming. This is just the first little batch, if I can put it that way. And this is also another one of my favorites. Just plain, just plain logo. Just the brand. This one. This one also like seems to be popular. At the moment, the most popular shirts, because we have had some sales, and thank you to everybody who has bought a shirt. This one is definitely the most popular at the moment. And I think it just encompasses what everybody is feeling. So yeah, this is for the Africanos. If you, that's a fly, okay, in the middle there. Can't really see it too well right now, but it's a fly and a nut, or a bolt. I'm not sure what you call it. I can't remember what you call this, but I think it's a nut. So yeah, it's woohoo. So yeah, please go check it out. Like I said, the link is in the description, so you can go check it out. I'm very excited. I will be obviously wearing some of these shirts later on in January to showcase them on the channel, so you can see for yourselves how they look, what they look like. It is good quality. Very excited. But yeah, more on that as the coming weeks come by. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to get into the season of Futsek ANC, what better way than to wear it on a shirt? And I think this is a pretty cool design. So yeah, go check it out, ladies and gentlemen. 10% off site wide. Doing that. Please tell your friends, family, the whole shebang. You know how it goes. So a few more people have joined me now. We've got Acid Zill, JP Rousseau. Evening, good sir. Nice for you. Yes, the Nirvana one is a good one. Let me actually show that one to you guys. That's a limited edition one. So we are going to be doing limited editions. Those will be around for maybe a month. This one will probably stay on a bit longer. But yeah, this one is also one of my favorites. I actually might get this shirt as well. I don't know. Honestly, I want all the shirts, if I'm completely honest. And I'm not just tooting my own horn there. So yeah, this one is one of my favorites as well. Yeah. So thank you for that. I'm glad you like that shirt, JP. Thank you so much. We're working on some stuff for people to send us some ideas, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. I don't want to say too much on it because nothing is finalized yet. Evening, Eleutheria. Hope you're well. Finally sick of seeing you in DC shirts. Hey, DC's not like, I love DC. I love DC. So they fit me well. I've always enjoyed them. All right, cool. So nice of you guys to join me on New Year's Day. I hope you guys have been enjoying time with family. If you have been around family, friends, or maybe you've been sitting at home doing nothing today, that is absolutely a-okay. I hope you're all doing very well. All right, cool. So what do you guys want to talk about? I got something to talk about. Don't know if you guys really want to know, but yeah, might be, I don't know. It's I'm just so sick of the hypocrisy, you know. Let me see if I can find it, because it was pretty much trending. Julius, yes, that guy. I'm sure if I just Yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course. So this um this son of a bee, um I mean the arrogance alone. You will get your apology in heaven, Julius Malema, unfazed by Christmas party backlash. So don't care if you're my reliable supporter, you will get an apology in heaven. This is what this leader of the ANC, sorry, of the EFF is telling his supporters. He doesn't give a flying F. And he's so videos of the EFF leader partying up a storm are making rounds on Twitter, drawing huge backlash. Many pointed out that Malema had spoken out against social gatherings several times as the COVID-19 virus continues to ravage South Africa. Some of the videos were apparently posted by Malema on Instagram, but have since been deleted. The one that remains was uploaded over the Christmas weekend. The video shows people, some without masks, and children dancing and touching each other. That sounds kind of wrong. Though the gathering was outside, little social distancing was observed. Malema appears in the video too. So I don't know if you guys want to watch this, but basically, yeah, you get the there it is, more videos. Disgraceful scenes of Julius Malema partying up a storm with no mask on. Video was posted on Malema's Instagram 4 days ago. The disgraceful and hypocritical EFF cult leader has, and I like how they say cult leader there, has since deleted this video. The area Julius was partying in is declared a hotspot. So yeah. Some of you saying play it, so let me just make sure that you guys will be able to hear sound. Do 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 and do do do. All right, so I'm just putting it back up so you guys can hear the sound. Yeah, I think we all get the picture here. Limpopo, while criticizing the government, I am your reliable supporter, but shame, blah, blah, blah. Malema, hit back. I don't care if you are my reliable supporter. You will get an apology in heaven. Short statement. Both beautiful events of Black Love were blah, blah, blah. They were outdoors, ventilated spaces, and created prepared prisons, whatever. Yeah, so there you go. That's that. Then, of course, Bekele, in reply to that tweet, there's another video which is even more outrageous. Alex saying that. Yeah, well, I mean, if you go on Twitter, you'll see it everywhere. Just type in hashtag Malema or something to Futsek EFF. You'll see all this stuff. Maybe I should, let's see what this one is. Hold on. Let me just zoom out a bit so you can see the whole thing. I think it's zoomed out enough. Oh, crap. Okay. Never mind. It took me to a completely different thing here, which is just, oh. Wait for it. Okay, wait. No, this is I can't. Okay, wait. I'm going to show you guys this because this is This is interesting. This is very interesting. I'm going to show it now. I don't know, Alex, if this is the video you're talking about. But yeah, this is very interesting. All right, so let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. There we go. All right, try this. There we go. That's better. Put the sound on. Here we go. Probably gonna get a copyright strike for this. Actually, yeah. I'm probably gonna get a copyright strike for that. But apparently, this is. I'll read the caption to you now. But we just saw Bekele. There, I think that's Bekele. It looks like Bekele. I could be mistaken. Maybe it's not Bekele, but no, I don't think it is. I thought it was, but it's not. Yeah. Big party. Big party. Just. Right, it's not as bad as the previous video. Yeah, it's just. But yeah. Caption says the Malema's family affairs. So obviously, it's a video of the entire family having a party, I guess. I'm just speculating, but I think that is it. So yeah, so Malema receiving some backlash. Honestly, I think he does this to get in the news. Like, he's doing this on purpose, surely. And he's being deliberately rude, you know. But I'm sure this. I understand why it pisses off people, man. Because we're told, be in at 9 p.m., guys. Bekele said you have to be in by 9. Everybody has to be in bed by 9 p.m. Let alone, inside your house. You have to be in bed by 9 p.m., which nobody really listened to. I mean, there was fireworks in Cape Town, and I heard there was fireworks everywhere in this country. And so I doubt very much that people were in bed. Yes, maybe a lot of people were in their homes chilling. Is there load shedding today? I didn't check. Sorry. I looked outside and it looks oddly darker than usual. Like no one's got their lights on, which is a bit weird. But so now I'm worried. But yeah, no, like that whole notion of like we must be in bed by 9 p.m. I mean, like really. And then you have some of your politicians partying, okay, no load shedding today. I understand why people are mad. I understand why people got upset and called out Julius, and rightfully so. They should, but at the same time, it's like, why are we giving this guy so much attention? We shouldn't, but at the same time, we can't help but talk about his idiocy. But at the same time, genius, right? Because I mean, this is how he keeps relevant. This is, he does outlandish, crazy stuff, and nobody bats an eye. And the president still hasn't condemned. And this is what really pisses me off about our president. All right. So for all of you people, right, that and I'm talking about the Karens or the social justice warriors or the woke or those lefty enthusiasts that criticize me for saying he's not the president. Cyril is not my president. Think about this: when, and because I know a lot of you point out that he wrote a letter. No, when on national television in the last 6 months has Cyril ever condemned the EFF? And if it's once, 6 months or 4 months or 5 months ago, that's not enough. He has never, ever publicly, in a speech, condemned the EFF. Ever. And they are domestic terrorists. I don't care what you say. No. They're domestic terrorists. All right? You don't petrol bomb a local store, and say, oh, it's just a protest. They're angry. No. Anywhere else in the world, anywhere else, that is domestic terrorism. And I don't think the president even spoke about that. So excuse me if I'm getting a little bit, angry here, right? But that's why he's not my president, because he doesn't you can't condemn one group of people, right? And then not condemn another. And then you want to start every speech with my fellow South Africans. Ha! Cyril. I'm not even going to address you as Mr. President anymore. I'm just going to call you Cyril. That's what I'm going to do. All right. So yeah, Footsec ANC Friday. That's why I support it. And that's why there's a shirt you can get on my clothing store, rebelstoreza.com. Go check it out. Go check it out. Sorry, guys. Well, why am I saying sorry? It doesn't matter. Alex saying, in reply to the tweet that Gulam tweeted, that he can be seen dancing at the same event on the stage with a dancer. Well, then there you go. You see, he doesn't care. Yep, pretty much. Yeah. Good evening, Audrey. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy New Year to you too. I said saying so true. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I mean that happened. And of course, and apparently I didn't know this, but apparently EFF won the court case against the Brackenfell. So yeah. And Queen. I moved from prayer to watching this and I catch foot 6-0. And it's quite a change of pace, isn't it? Thank you for tuning in. Yeah. I mean, like, we're all angry, right? We're all upset, and I can understand why. But yeah, like it's. What was I going to say now? I was actually going to talk about something else I saw in the news. Let me just actually see what happens if I type in SA. Chris Wyatt, how are you doing, buddy? Look, if you don't have a stream coming up, you're welcome to join me. Let me know. Yanni was supposed to join me, and then he just kind of disappeared into the night. I think he probably fell asleep or something. I don't know. So Chris, if you want to pop in, you're more than welcome to. Just saying. So yeah, yes. Microphone looks like a. It is a very sexy mic. Okay. Yes, go check it out. The link is in the description below. So yeah. Yeah, I think Chris has a stream coming up, if I'm not mistaken. He usually does a late stream, but yeah, like I said, he's more than welcome to join me. Yeah, not much happening. Headlines today. Yes, everybody is just sleeping, or New Year's Day is always like a. What? Sorry, I gotta show you guys this. This is like a headline that I would show on my other show, Say What, where comedians make fun of the headlines. I'm sure you guys have some of you may have watched that show, but I've got to show you this. So if you look here, this is what the headline says. All right, there we go. Chris saying, "How would you like me to call in?" I'm gonna send you a link, Chris. And then you can just follow that link. It's StreamYard. I'm sure you've used StreamYard before. So I'm going to send you a link right now, and then you just follow that link, follow the prompts, and you'll be let in. Sorry, I just need to get to this, and then yeah, we'll just have a chat. We can chat about anything really. Cool. I sent you the link, Chris, on WhatsApp. Just yeah, follow it, and yeah, I'll see you soon. All right, so let me show you this. 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 Let me show you. This is funny. This is funny. I can't believe I'm reading this. Thieves take a bite out of wall to steal school computers. Oh, okay. It's a play on words. My bad. Smart writing, though. I'll give him that. A hole in the wall at Sapphire Secondary in, not pronounce that, Park, where 42 computers were stolen on Thursday night. What computers were they? Were they Apple? I just want to know. Look at this. This is horrible. See, kids aren't allowed to go to school. Well, it is holidays, but yeah, I imagine we'll see more of this as well. School received a donation from MTN in Hawaii for a computer laboratory in September. Wow. Now it's all gone. I think it's an inside job. I'm kidding. Terrible joke. 411, if you're listening, that was a joke. You don't have to fact check me on that. No, I thought it was like a bite, like an actual bite, like a type of thing. Ready, set, go from a trick. Yeah, missing Matthew. A new podcast series. Okay, that's something podcast. Okay, police arrest 42 people trying to cross Caledon River into SA on tube. All right, and there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the channel a very good friend. His name has changed, ladies and gentlemen, to John Q 2021. I didn't know about the name change, but congratulations on that name change.
It's a brave new world there, Joe. I'm changing my name, my gender, and my outlook. I've decided to become woke. I'm now woke.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm feeling guilty. I'm changing my Starbucks to this vile-looking pseudo coffee sort of disgusting thing that's expired. And if I expire during this stream, you'll know it was because I drank this expired coffee drink. So let's give it a try here. There we go. Take that plastic off. So, you don't see the environmentalists, the nut wacko jobs complaining about this frou-frou BS. Look at that plastic. It's going to go in the landfill, man. That's ridiculous, but they don't complain about it. No, they'll just complain about the, cow flatulence, Anyway.
How you doing, buddy? How was your New Year's Day?
Well, it was a busy day. I did 3 streams, appeared on 2 different shows. Quite the full day for me yesterday. And yeah, just trying to get that. Whoa, hey, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. Got a bit of a mess here. Excuse me. Now I remember why I don't drink coffee. This is vile. Oh my God. Oh, no wonder I drink Starbucks. That stuff's disgusting. I mean, that is really. Look at Joe. It's bubbling up, man. Check it out. I mean, it's like some nuclear accident or something. Look at that.
It looks like Coke.
You know what? I won't be getting sponsorship from these guys. That's for sure. All right, I'm done with that. I'm gonna have to grab a Starbucks here shortly. Careful now, because now I look like Ronaldo just made his fraudulent claim without me saving stuff in my beard. All right, it's gone now. There you go. Hey, did you see the birthday gift that they sent me?
No, but
on my
I
channel.
Heard about it. Hey,
yeah,
happy
awesome.
birthday, Chris. Nice.
Yeah, they went in here and they went through and they captured stuff from all over the channel and like milestones for the channel, like things when I was really excited. So, for instance, when I hit 250 subscribers back on April 29th, look how excited I was. Whoops, there it is.
Oh, that's cool. It's like a digital scrapbook almost.
It is. It's amazing. Pretty cool.
That's
so anyway.
Awesome.
So congratulations, I think, on the Rebel store. I understand that's your venture. Do I have fake news or is that true?
No. That's very much true. I'm not.
All right. I have to say that I absolutely have to have a Straight Outta Brockenfell t-shirt. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, we're not shipping internationally, but perhaps maybe we can do you
when I get over there. When I get over there.
Oh yeah, when you get over here, of course. Yeah. Are you going to be in Cape Town when you visit South Africa?
Of course. Why would I go to South Africa and not go to Cape Town?
I don't know. Maybe you only wanted to go to Joburg. I don't know.
It's like sex with a condom. What's the point?
Oh man. So question, seeing as for those of you who don't know, Chris Wyatt is a YouTuber in America, but is very much involved in South African
Not a
politics and
YouTuber. I'm a broadcast personality. Get it right.
broadcast personality. My bad. And very much has interest in not just South Africa, but also Africa in general, and always and his reports very well on the news, and I believe very unbiased position. So you're always fair. You're always fair when you report the news. Please go check him out if you haven't yet. Also, he does stay in America, and I would like to know thoughts on the 6th of January.
Well, I will be streaming live from Washington, D.C. on the 6th of January. That's the plan anyway. We'll see if the deep staters prevent people from actually showing up. But the plan is to be broadcasting live, be carrying multiple backup battery packs because I know I'll drain my phone pretty quickly. Also, I'm sure the mobile networks will be saturated because there's going to be a lot of people there. So I expect to have problems broadcasting. But I do have a few Wi-Fi solutions that might make the difference. So, but what I'll do most likely is if I can't stream because of bandwidth problems, I'll record something, a short video, upload it, yada yada, and do that throughout the day and bring news. So it'll be journalism. It's not going to be an opinion show. It's actually going to a news event, reporting, kind of like you did recently for the
Yes.
march. You kind of did. Yeah, but mine would be more informative.
Hmm. Yeah, I tend not to talk too much during the streams, but I must get out of that habit. All right, so but okay, so that's cool that you're gonna basically be on the ground during the 6th of
Mhm.
January. But what do you think is going to happen? Because
Okay.
I
So
think a lot of people think that this is like, okay, it's always two sides, right? So there's the one side
yeah.
that's saying, oh, this is Trump's last ditch effort. It's not going to work. He's just being a baby, blah, blah, blah. And then there's other ones that say, like, this is literally the last chance for true democracy. So what's your opinion and what do you think is going to happen?
All right. First off, it's not Trump's last effort because Trump has nothing to do with it. He's not involved in it. This is the normal democratic process. I saw CNN, this Joshua, whatever his name, this BS op-ed 2 days ago. I did a video and I haven't published it yet because I probably should tone it down. I was a little angry, but he published this thing, Joshua Douglas or something like that's his name, on CNN, claiming that the Republicans' last ditch effort is going to fail for sure, but we should be concerned about America's democracy. And so I read it. I'm like, why should we be concerned about America's democracy? This is the constitutional process. This is in accord with existing constitutional basis and federal law from 1876 that spells this out specifically how this is done. So what happens on January 6th is the following. Now, I think it's going to be a nothing burger. So I don't know why the leftists are so paranoid trying to lie and deceive the public about what's happening, claiming it's just like, Trump's baseless claims. No baseless claims. My God, there's thousands of witness testimony, affidavits, people whose liberty is at risk. If you file a false official document in an affidavit and you waste the court's time and law enforcement's time, that's a charge. And when you do it in a federal election, it becomes a felony. And so, I mean, come on, people are going to, for Donald Trump, these people are going to do this. I mean, a lot of these people are actually Democrats and independents who are just working on election boards and being told to do things. Anyway, so let's get away from that for a second. So back to January 6th. What's going to happen January 6th is that, as I've said ever since the election, when the media came out and called Joe Biden the president-elect, I said that's not true. He's a presumptive. We presume he's going to be the president-elect, but he doesn't become president-elect until following things happen. Each of the 50 states must certify their election results and then send it to the Electoral College by the 8th of December, which was done. Then on the 14th of December, all the electors must meet in their state legislatures around the country and vote. And the slate of electors will be chosen. If things go according to what was certified as a popular vote, then Joe Biden will get a sufficient number of electoral college votes to later be declared the president. So what happens after that is the 19th of December, those votes had to be turned over to the Congress. They were. And then on the 6th of January, the House and Senate sit down in a joint session of Congress, and they vote to decide whether to accept or to challenge the Electoral College. Now, the last time Hillary Clinton tried to get them to do that, and no one talked about democracy at risk. No one, it's all the republic's under threat. This is baseless. There's nothing to it. No, she tried and failed, and it didn't work. So no one actually opposed it. That's how it failed. She also tried to subvert the process illegally and immorally by getting electors on their election date to get when they went to legislature to vote against what the popular vote was. Now, Trump did not attempt to do that. No state legislatures tried to do that. The only thing that happened is that Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, I think Georgia, but I'm not certain, the legislature is controlled by Republicans, and they have sole authority for election law in the states. And what they did is they put forward their slate of Republican electors, because there's a Democrat, a Republican, a Constitutional Party, the Green Party, yada, 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 Libertarians. All of them have a slate. Now, none of the other ones ever get to vote because it's only usually a Democrat or Republican. But so the Republicans put forward their slate of electors. So there are competing slates of electors that will be presented to Congress. So in theory, there has to be a challenge to this, because you can't just go, okay, please, the results for Pennsylvania were, according to the Secretary of State, there were 20 electoral votes for Joe Biden. However, the legislature, which has sole vested authority for elections, has withdrawn that authority from the executive branch, and they present us with a slate of 20 Republicans and say that the state goes for the president. We're going to have to debate this. That's what's supposed to happen. Now, this is what's going to happen. Josh Hawley in the Senate has had the courage to stand up as a 41-year-old senator from Missouri, Republican, and say that he will challenge the results of Pennsylvania and other states. You have to have at least one senator and one member of the House of Representatives. 140 of the nearly 200 Republicans have had the testicles, the cojones, to step forward and say, we are going to challenge this. So it's an overwhelming response in the House of Representatives amongst Republicans. 2/3 of them are going to challenge it. It should be 100%. Quite frankly, there ought to be a number of Democrats who challenge it, because this fraud is disturbing. If you care about this country, you would question what's going on here. We would not have gotten to this stage. States would not have certified their election results. We now find that in Pennsylvania that there were 203,000 more votes reported by the canvassing boards from each of the counties than people who actually voted. Jeez. There's 203,000 actual less ballots cast, physical ballots and mail-in, 203,000 less than the numbers that the counties reported, which gave Joe Biden a win. So somebody's bullshitting somebody here.
Yeah.
In there were 170,000 of those ballots that had a vote for either Trump or Biden, almost all for Biden, for the presidential election. So 33,000 don't affect the presidential race, but 203,000 more votes. So what is going on here? How can you have, if you have 100,000 people in a county, how can you report 106,000 votes cast when there's only 100,000 votes that were actually cast? So that makes Pennsylvania's election illegitimate, and the results can't be second. So what's going to happen on the 6th of January? There'll be a bunch of people in D.C. The police will probably harass people. There'll be some Antifa jackasses that show up. Elderly folks, especially if they're white, will be physically attacked by leftist thugs when they're isolated or walking back to their cars. Those of us who are physically fit will be prepared, and they won't challenge us because they're little whiny, pissy, nappy wearing babies, these leftists. And so we'll be able to assemble in peace, and we'll be able to seek right of redress of our grievances from our government, which is guaranteed in our Constitution. Those of us who recognize that we don't want influenza or the scamdemic flu of COVID will be wearing face masks or face coverings or, a buff or something like that to protect yourselves, because there will be close proximity. No way around that. I myself plan to be on the edge, not in the middle of this, because I know how these things can go, good or bad. And I also have already egress routes planned, 4 of them, depending on what happens. If I'm forced one direction or the other, I already have a safe haven location to go to, and I'm prepared. I'll have multiple mobile phones on me with different networks, and I'm all ready for just anything. So I'm not expecting any trouble, but I won't be stumbling into it. Anyway, so they will meet. Hawley will announce his objection to Pennsylvania's results, and then in the House, they'll do the same. So because someone in both bodies of the legislature have expressed a reservation, they will then retire to their chambers. The House and the Senate will debate for 2 hours as per the law. They'll come back and they'll vote, and then a majority of the House and the Senate will vote to accept Joe Biden as president, and he will go from being the presumptive president of the United States to the president-elect for the first time ever on the 6th of January. Then what happens is anybody's guess. Do people accept that? Do people demonstrate? Is there insurrection? I don't predict any of that. Or does Donald Trump implement the executive order that he put in place in 2018 from foreign interference in our elections with Dominion Software Systems, a foreign entity, counting our votes? So he could do that. I don't think he's going to. The other option is that Trump declares martial law because of the subverted election. I don't think he's going to do that. I think Trump's just going to walk away. That's my personal view.
Maybe he's just gonna walk away. Like, that's the thing, though. So you're saying that he's gonna go through this process, but it's pretty much fruitless. Like, he can't really nothing's really
But
going to come
he's
of it.
not going through this process. It's not Trump. That's an important distinction. It's like when the media keeps saying, well, Trump's claims are baseless. He's had dozens of lawsuits rejected. Lie, 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 lie. Donald Trump's election campaign has had a handful of cases dismissed in federal and state courts because they said they
Yes.
didn't have standing, which is bullshit. It's the election for their candidate.
Mm.
So that's not true. All these other cases are by third parties, the state of Texas, a legislator here in Pennsylvania, private citizens in Michigan. When those cases are dismissed and the media lies about it and people are too fucking stupid to make the distinction between the Trump campaign and private citizens, that doesn't mean it's just fake media. It's fake news. So this isn't Trump going on January 6th. This now the wild card in this is Mike Pence. A lot of people who are rabid Trump supporters are like, oh, Pence will save it for us because he has to certify. And if he doesn't, well, he's also got a constitutional duty. He can't simply ignore just because there's an underlying fraud to it, because he doesn't have evidence of the fraud presented to him in that situation. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people on January 7th, or there'll be patriotic Americans in the Democratic Party who discover that actually country matters more than your bullshit party, and does the right thing and rejects results. And then we're in a constitutional crisis, but there's a process for it. And this gets sent to the state legislatures, but they're not going to do that because the state legislatures are controlled by Republicans, 2/3 of them. And that would mean that Trump would be back in office. The bottom line here is what should have happened on November 15th is that the states that were in question, the battleground states like Georgia, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona, and Nevada, those 6 states should have not certified the results for the Electoral College. They should have done a complete audit. And when they completed the audit, which gave them time before November or December 8th, they would have realized there was a lot of fraud going on here. And then they should have sought a redress at their level by the legislatures. They failed to do it. The lack of political and moral courage in this country is disturbing. I didn't spend 36 years of my life getting shot at and really have my testicles blown off and dying in combat and giving up amenities of life, living in crap hole countries. Yeah, that's right. I said crap hole countries, and being deployed away from family and friends for months on end, not knowing if I'll ever come home, so that these jackasses can sit back here and be cowardly, callow little bitches and let this happen to our election integrity. Now, this isn't the first time it's happened, but what's most disturbing about this is the collusion of the press. Something must be done about the press. Now, I'm talking about you stop a free press, but they must be held accountable for lies and distortions. You cannot report news and inject op-ed into it and pretend you're an objective outlet. That's simply not true. Simply not acceptable.
Well, that is something that is definitely coming out of all this, is that I think the mainstream media is not as trusted as they once were, and rightfully so. Okay, let me rephrase the question then. Do you think anything substantial is going to come out of the 6th of January, in the sense of basically the Republicans? Do you think the Republicans have a fighting chance? Because I've seen some interesting videos of there's videos going around of how the ballots were just pulled out of a desk or something like that, or just like handed over when supposedly everybody was supposed to be home. There wasn't supposed to be anyone counting, and yet there's just this big box of ballots that just gets dropped on the desk. And I mean, that looks like sufficient evidence to me. And then there's also the counting is weird, because all of a sudden it jumps to 10,000 more votes in like literally a second. Some even higher than that. So I mean, like, there is evidence of fraud, but
There's
also it sounds like you're not.
There's also evidence of
optimistic.
why. No, because the courts are failing to do their job. They're captured. We have captured courts, just like the North Haltang High Court. Our courts are captured. The Supreme Court failed to do its constitutional responsibility. The captured Pennsylvania biased leftist Supreme Court failed to uphold the law and violated the law. So let me just run through the Pennsylvania example, because I live in Pennsylvania. I voted here. 6.9 million, 7 million, something like that. Pennsylvanians out of 12 million people live here, voted. Of course, there's kids, can't vote. So, and people that don't bother to vote. But basically 7 million Pennsylvanians voted. Okay. 2.5 million of those were these so-called mail-in ballots. We have existing election law that goes back a century. In 2019, the legislature of Pennsylvania, Republican legislature, by the way, before COVID ever came up in October 2019, they changed election law. It didn't affect the 2019 election, but it was for 2020 to make it easier to vote. I don't know why you need to make it easier to vote. Voting should not be like, changing your underwear, putting, a cup of coffee on the thing. It's ridiculous.
Or
Getting
ordering off of
Right,
Uber Eats or
ordering off a
something.
menu. It's a
Yeah.
sacred responsibility and right only for authorized citizens who are not felons who should be allowed to vote, not anybody that wants to vote. Anyway, so they put this law in place, and I didn't fully know this because I didn't vote in Pennsylvania in 2019. I was still active duty, and I voted federal absentee ballot for Ohio, as I've been doing for 30 years. So what happened was they passed a law, and it was done to make mail-in balloting possible. In the past, you could only have an absentee ballot if you did the federal absentee ballot, and you only got that if you had a legitimate reason for not being there. And the only people with legitimate reason for not being at their polling station on polling day are the people who are in hospitals, long-term care or something like that. They can't get to the polling station. The infirms, they got a legitimate excuse. They can get a doctor's note to say why. Active duty military, not stationed in their home state, like me, not in Ohio since 1989. U.S. diplomats who are from a state but serving overseas. Now, if you're a U.S. diplomat and you're serving at one of our State Department offices in San Francisco, well, you have to vote because you're now a resident of California because you're living there. Military, that doesn't apply to, but for civilians, it does. So only federal employees who are stationed overseas, they are absentee other than military. So, and then someone who's a business person, you're traveling to Oman for a conference, you're going to be away, so you fill it out ahead of time. That kept the number of federal absentee ballots very low. In order to be an absentee voter, you must be a registered voter who's produced identification, signed the rolls, and proven who you are with a physical home address, which they verify. Then you can mail in your absentee ballot request because they verify it against your application. There you go. With the mail-in ballots, that's bullshit. The law said essentially I'd do the same thing. But then this year, when it was clear that creepy, sleepy Jim Crow Joe Biden was getting his ass handed to him, and that Donald Trump, despite the fraud with the scamdemic and all this effort to blame Donald Trump for the Chinese Wuhan coronavirus pandemic, it wasn't working. Despite the armed insurrection in our cities, Donald Trump was gaining popularity, and he was getting more and more support, particularly among Black American voters and Hispanic voters. And the Democrats were scared. Now, they started this plan a long time ago, and they filed over 300 lawsuits to change state election law. They had 10,000 volunteers, including unpaid lawyers, to try to subvert our electoral system, and they did it over the course of the last 18 months, and it worked. But the Republicans, as usual, dipshits, sat around and said nothing about it and didn't inform the public about what was happening when they knew it was happening. So in Pennsylvania, Act 77 was passed in October 2019. Act 77 says that, well, it basically says what you have to have a postmark on the ballot, so it's got to go through a postal service. It's got to have a signature that matches this voter on file, and it's got to be requested by the voter. You can't just send ballots out like California and New Jersey did to anybody. And then the last thing is it has to be in by election day. So in September this year, after it was clear that Joe Biden was in trouble in Pennsylvania, Donald Trump is coming to Pennsylvania, and 57,000 people show up at a rally in a county whose population isn't even 57,000 in rural Western Pennsylvania, which is supposedly a leftist stronghold. They were shitting their pants. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Oh my God, I voted Donald Trump. Anyway, so what happened was, as we built up, now that was afterwards, but they saw this coming. They realized that Biden was useless. They're stuck. So what they did in Pennsylvania is the governor of Pennsylvania, Tom Wolf, El Duce himself, Benito Mussolini Jr., the fascist totalitarian dictator from Harrisburg, he and his executive branch announced that the election for 2020, that they would not require a postmark, crime, illegal. That's not what the law from 2019 says.
Yeah.
Also violates the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's Constitution and the U.S. Constitution. So they would not require a postmark. So you could just drop it anywhere, and we don't have any chain of custody. That's essentially what the postmarkers do to give chain of custody. Your mail, in theory, can only be sent from the election board to through the postal service to your address. When you're registered, you get it. Now, anybody can walk in your mailbox, but we can't control that. But you get it, you fill it out, you sign it, you put it back in the mail. The postal service picks it up as a chain of custody. If you just have a drop box somewhere, oh, hey, I want to drop in my ballot right there. There's no chain of custody. And as a former federal law enforcement official, as a counterintelligence agent, if you don't have a chain of custody for something that's official, then it's bullshit because anybody can take it. So no postmark. They announced this in September. Or August, excuse me. They said the signature on file for the voter does not have to match that of the voting record. And then they said they would accept the ballots for 10 days after the election. Excuse me? Now, the reason for that is because some states would allow federal absentee ballots from overseas extra 10 days because it takes time to come back because they don't mail them out until like 30 days before the election, and that's not quick enough sometimes. So the governor, the secretary of state, and the attorney general of this state announced publicly they were going to violate the law. When I found out about that in September on my streams, I started pointing out that Pennsylvania's election will be fraudulent, that all the mail-in ballots are tainted because they have just encouraged people to commit fraud. Now, I'm not even making a claim that anybody mailed in a ballot without a postmark, without a matching signature, or after the election, all of which happened, by the way, and we have evidence and records of it. But I am saying that by announcing it publicly, you've created a fraudulent situation. You've created an environment in which you've encouraged people to cheat and to lie and to steal the election. That alone makes the mail-in ballots illegitimate. So in my view, all 2.5 million ballots should be set aside. And if they want to have a right of redress, then what happens is that people who had a mail-in ballot must request another one and vote properly in person. That's how you do it. Otherwise, but there's many ways to it. So that's the first problem. The second problem is that that's the executive branch. So they've already announced they're criminals. They're going to violate the law that they just created. They can't even wait a year before they break the damn law. Then it went to the Supreme Court. 5 of the 7 members of the Supreme Court are left-wing dirtbags, and 2 of them are Republicans who are also gas bags, apparently. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court not only upheld the executive branch violating the law, the legislature writes the law, the governor signs it. They're violating the law, which they have no authority to do. Not only that, but then the Pennsylvania Supreme Court says, you know what? 10 days is too long. You can still turn the ballots in for 3 days after the election, and you can go forward with these standards. No signature matching, no postmark. That's against the law. The job of the court is to uphold the rule of law. If something is unconstitutional, then they declare it. That's not unconstitutional. That was a reasonable standard that the legislature put in place that the governor signed. But when he found out that dipshit Joe Biden was getting his ass kicked and he was going to lose, they colluded to steal the election in Pennsylvania by having fake ballots sent in. So that's the second thing. So that went to the U.S. Supreme Court in October. The cowardly, callow U.S. captured Supreme Court with 8 members because Ginsburg had died, in a 4-4 decision, sent it back with Chief Justice John Roberts, the gas bag preening fake conservative that he is, the George Bush appointee. That's all I need to tell you. He's not a conservative. He was the deciding vote, making a 4-4 decision. It should have been a 5-3 decision, rescinding Pennsylvania's criminal overstep of the law. Now, let me just make a quick comparison, Joe. I know I've gone on for a bit, but Bush versus Gore in 2000, when people claim that the Supreme Court gave the election to George Bush, that's fraudulent. They did not give the election. What they did is they overruled the Florida Supreme Court, which repeatedly interjected itself into the election process, violating existing Florida election law. The Florida had election law. They had to certify the vote by a certain date, and they had to do certain things. And then the Gore campaign fraudulently kept going to the Florida Supreme Court, which had lots of Democrats on it. And they said, okay, you have another date. Recount. No, you can't do that. You must certify them by a certain date according to Florida law. So the U.S. Supreme Court reached in and said, Florida Supreme Court, you are violating your own law and your decisions are null and void. That's what should have happened in Pennsylvania. Had that happened, we wouldn't have had this bullshit in Pennsylvania, because they would not have been allowed to accept any ballots after the election. They would not have been allowed to accept any ballots which the signature didn't match, and they would not be allowed to accept any ballots that didn't have a postmark. Those 3 things alone are likely to have meant that Donald Trump won the election. And that's not even getting into the 682,000 votes, which is also a violation of Pennsylvania law, in which Philadelphia County and Allegheny County, it's Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, 2 biggest, most populous parts of the state. Those 2 counties, there were 682,000 ballots that were counted and denied access to election observers. By the way, election observers wasn't new. We didn't do this because of this election. We always have election observers. It's been going on for decades in this country. They're approved ahead of time. Each party who has a candidate is allowed to have observers there, and the courts, not the courts, but the Board of Elections approves it. So these were all approved people from all the parties. And it wasn't just Republican observers. All observers were kicked out of the room. They weren't allowed to see. So 682,000 absentee ballots that were counted by election officials are null and void because nobody verified independently that they were real. That's another one. Then in Delaware County, which is just below Philadelphia, the chairman of the Board of Elections sent an emergency email out on like the Wednesday or Thursday after the election and said, please, all the canvassing officials, please, we can't certify our county's results because the voter rolls and the chain of custody documents are missing. The people left the voting stations and took the official document. So those 400,000 ballots in Delaware County alone, of which 84% went for Joe Biden, are null and void because nobody can attest to the veracity of those ballots. So there's tons of more things, but that's just the most obvious, clear violation. That's a violation of law, by the way. You don't leave with the chain of custody documents of the voting rolls. Those are public records that are private. You can't release to the public. So that's a violation of law. The election observers in Allegheny and Philadelphia County, a violation of law. And the things that the government said they're going to do are violations of law. This is a fraudulent election in Pennsylvania. The people who voted for Biden, the people who voted for Trump have been defrauded.
And yet, you believe that they will still get away with it because the courts are captured. So even at
Yes.
this 6th of January,
Well, here,
you're
let me just put it
saying,
this. Let me just put it this way: the Pennsylvania case that was initially rejected by the Supreme Court has now been accepted by the Supreme Court, and they've given the plaintiff until January 26th to submit their argument. 6 days after the
that's,
inauguration.
yeah,
That's bullshit. They
that,
should have given them a
yeah, I was
weekend.
about to say that's
They
BS.
should have given them a weekend. Before Christmas, the Supreme Court accepted the case, and they said you have until January 26th to turn in your.
Before Christmas, of course, when everybody's off
No, but
for,
the court did this, but I mean it doesn't matter. I mean this is all the cards on the table. Christmas is not a holiday when democracy is at stake. I mean, if we're fighting a war, we don't take a break because people blew up our building. We go fight them. So the Supreme Court is going to hear it, and then what they'll probably do is this: they'll probably hear it on the 26th of January. They'll probably find in favor of the plaintiff against the defendant, which is Pennsylvania, and they'll probably say the Pennsylvania's election was fraudulent. But it's a done deal. And then it'll just be covered up by the press. And that's just Pennsylvania. I don't know what's going to happen in Georgia and so many. I don't know the stats, but in Georgia, something like 40-some thousand people under the age of 18, according to the birth date on their voter registration, voted. That's illegal. 18 is
yeah,
the voting age. The vote difference in Georgia was 12,000 votes. Almost every one of those votes went to Joe Biden. So there's 46,000 votes were stolen. Georgia was stolen on that basis alone. Never mind the fact the video that you watched from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta's Fulton County in Atlanta, where the election observers were left or chased out or left, whatever, at 10:25 in the evening on the most critical election in a century. The news media, the reporters were sitting there with cameras and microphones, and all the observers watching what's going on just suddenly leave. According to the fraudulent election officials in Fulton County, it was of their own accord. They just left because they wanted to. Really? You're still counting votes in the middle of an election at 10:30.
yeah.
Polls haven't even closed in Alaska and Hawaii, and you're going to leave on election night? Give me a freaking break. Especially when the last
Like
time
they
around.
all of a sudden were like, you know what? I'm just so tired. All of a sudden,
Let's go to Five Guys and get a burger. Let's go get a
yeah.
night. But here's
You
the
feel
thing:
like Burger King?
you see the multiple cameras which are synced, and then you watch all of them walking out and waiting for transportation. So they weren't even prepared to leave at that time. It's not like it was they're going to leave at 10:30. They're all sitting there waiting several minutes for their rides to come because they had to call their rides. You see them calling for people to come pick them up. So they all leave. As soon as they're out of, and you see people looking, like, okay, are they gone yet? You watch them, you can see them looking over. Are they gone? Okay, they're gone. As soon as they leave, they pull up the freaking black curtain. It's on top of a table in the center of the room, and they drag out these crates, boxes of ballots. Yeah. They walk over and they start feeding them through a voting machine. The one woman pulls a stack 4 times, feeds the same stack through 4 times. Now, if there's votes that aren't registering after the first time, excuse me, chief of elections, come over here, please. This machine isn't counting. It said 575. I put this stack through. It still says 575. So they can't even make that claim because if that were the case, they were fraudulent in redoing it a second, a third, a fourth time. No, they were counting the same fake ballots for Joe Biden that had Joe Biden on it, nothing else on the ballot, running it through the machine 4 times and counting it, thinking we're that stupid because they're morons. They're in a public facility, a sports arena that because of lawsuits and because of physical safety and criminal activity has 24-hour surveillance. All these sporting venues have that. So they were too stupid when they're committing the fraud. So that happens. And then we hear this nonsense. Well, okay, let me tell you, okay, everything I just said is supposition, except what was on the video, what I'm saying about the ballots being for Joe Biden the 4 times. Maybe there's a different reason. But here's the bottom line. Every one of those ballots is illegitimate. You know why? Because the chain of custody was broken. What do you mean? Well, because we watched the video from 14 hours earlier when they rolled out from the back room. I don't know where they're at. I assume they were under protection and observed and locked up. They bring them out. They hide them under the table. They put a cloth over it, but they don't do that with the other boxes of ballots that come in. So those ballots are all sitting there. And by the way, they're hidden from view and they're not locked in a room. So while they're hidden from view under that sheet, the chain of custody has been broken because the official responsible for it who brought them out left the room multiple times during the day and didn't observe it and didn't assign someone to watch that table. This is fraud beyond conception. African nations aren't this effective at stealing elections. This is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit.
Well, speaking about African nations, a lot of people in the chat have been saying this is probably going to happen in South Africa in our elections. They're just testing the system, as it were. And speaking about other comments, Mikhail Konica has joined us saying, look, it's Santa. Yes, you did dress up as Santa a few times in the leading up to Christmas, and you look a lot like Saint Nick. And Shaq Driller saying Joe looks scared, looks like Chris shouting at poor Joe. Now Chris just gets very passionate. We all know that.
Oh,
Um,
that's the Fortrekker monument. I could never see Shack Dweller's. It's so small on the screen. Now I can see it.
yeah. And Laura Fry saying, love your mic, Joe. Thank you so much, Laura. Yeah, made possible due to Yanni and his amazing 3D 3D printing.
It's a
Mikhail
massive mic,
Kanekas,
Joe. I just have to
it's
ask
actually
if you're
not that big, like to be
are you
honest.
compensating for something? What's going on?
No, he said, you, you underestimate the ANC.
I wasn't talking about the ANC.
No. When I said some people think that that might happen in South Africa, where
Oh,
they fraudulently, yeah. Um, Bell, your turn, Joe. I don't have a bell. Um, yeah, man. Look, I've done an hour of this stream. I'll go on for another 5 minutes because, yeah, I really wanted to know your opinion on the 6th of January, and you pretty much said everything in detail. I'm still gonna watch it. Definitely gonna watch your stream when you do it. What time will it be in South Africa?
what stream? On the 6th?
The 6th of January. Yeah. Do
Oh,
you know the time?
well, I plan on leaving very early in the morning too, because it's a 2 hour drive to DC, and where I'm going to park my vehicle. I need to make sure I can still get there. And if I can't, then I have to have an alternate plans, and that's going to involve public transport. Where I'm going to be is a safe place that I can walk, which is what I
Yeah.
want to do. I don't want to take public transport for a number of reasons: COVID, influenza, troublemakers. So yeah, I'll leave early in the morning, get there before the morning rush hour traffic. There won't be much rush hour because nobody's working because of COVID hysteria, but so I'll be there early, and I will start planning on streaming as early as probably about 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So about 4 p.m. South Africa time be the earliest you'd see me on.
Yeah. All right. So I'll tune into that and see it from your perspective on the ground, man. It's very exciting.
So why do you want to
I don't know.
why do you want to end the stream? When you invited me, there were 2 people. Now there's 36. What's going on, man?
I don't like to. I'm not like you, dude. I don't do 2 hour streams. I really don't.
Get it
I
right.
try
It's
to
4
keep them-
hours.
I like to keep them short, and yeah, it's still New Year's Day. I want to spend some time with my wife. So yeah, I am gonna have you back though. I did send you a date on WhatsApp, but we can discuss later.
Oh, you did? Okay. I didn't see that.
But yeah, I'm gonna have you back. I still want to have that land discussion, very
Sure.
important discussion. So yeah, but thank you so much for tuning in, or at least joining me. It's very nice to catch up, and thank you as well for giving me your very detailed opinion on what is happening currently in America. You definitely cleared some things up for me as well. So yeah, thank you everyone who tuned in as well. Thank you all so much. Very dry today, but that's fine. I know it's tough times for everyone. But yeah, tune in again. I don't know when. Like this week, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm taking it easy, taking a bit of a break. But Monday, next Monday, I will be trying to get back into the swing of things with the normal shows again coming up, and yeah, revamping as well the channel. But please go check out Rebel Store. The link is in the description below. And Chris, is there anything you want to say as we sign off?
No, just well, yeah, I not know. Yeah, yes. Yeah. Happy New Year to everybody. I don't know why I said no.
Yes.
Happy New Year to everybody. Thanks a lot. Appreciate all the support that you guys given to Joe and to myself and others
Yes.
who've really ramped up our channels this year. Others who've been around for a long time have done well, including folks like Ronaldo and Germ, although he's getting banned all the time, so I never know what's going on with Germ. But but no, thanks for the support. It really is appreciated, and everybody is trying their best to bring something interesting, something informative to keep people engaged, and hopefully not deal with the misery that you've been subjected to because of our disgraceful politicians around the world.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Joe, thanks a lot. Good luck to your channel this year, and
Thank you.
good luck with the Rebel Store. No, thanks. Good luck with the Rebel Store. That's very exciting. I wish I had the audacity to do something like that, but that's a lot of effort. So I hope it works out well. But I definitely do want to
Thanks,
get one
man.
of the straight out of Brockenfell shirts. That one's awesome. That'll just
We'll
confuse
definitely
people here
make
in the
it.
U.S. because they're like, shouldn't it say Compton? Shouldn't that say Compton?
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
so
what it was inspired by. But yeah, no, we'll definitely make a plan when you're in South Africa. I'll definitely give you a shirt, no problem. And I just want to say very quickly, Acid Zill asking Monday or next Monday, this coming Monday, I'll try and get everything back to normal. And have some future streams lined up. It's going to be a slow start to the year, but it will get there. Like I said, I'm revamping the channel as well, so that's taking a bit of time.
so what are you saying? It's going to be interesting and appealing now. You trying something new?
Yeah, basically, I'm streamlining it a bit, you know. So yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much, Chris. I'll chat to you again soon. Thank you again for popping by. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's hope that 2021 somehow is going to be better than 2020. Let's just try and stay optimistic about it. But yeah, if I don't see you soon, stay safe, be kind to one another, and I'll see you at the next one. Cheers.